Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm feeling the lightning. I'm feeling the lightning, baby. Holy moly, guacamole. We have a yeah.
I had to do it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what connected us, Joel, when we first were doing live streams together.
Well, you know what? I think when we our very first episode years ago, we did that.
Yeah.
I don't know why. And then you were like, "Are you a fan of that movie?" I said, "You kidding me?"
Yeah.
I love it. Sorry, go ahead.
We're brothers now. But holy moly, we have the man, the myth, the legend, the showstopper, the icon, the main event. That's right. James Lightning Pax here on the channel, hanging out in the movie dojo. Brother, how are you, my friend? Thank you for doing this.
Not at all. Not at all.
Yes.
Joe and Preston, thank you for inviting me. And I actually saw a couple of episodes that you did, and I thought was quite interesting. And I have to tell you, your intro was definitely a class intro. I love it. I love it. You added that lightning in the screen, that special effect. It's amazing. It brings me back 35 years ago when I was making the Big Trouble in Little China. It has created so much magic, which is what we're going to be talking about. But you go ahead and ask me the questions, and then I'll tell you what I think is so magical about Big Trouble.
Oh, yeah.
35 years later, you will not find another movie as original as Big Trouble.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, we're gonna get into that old school magic that's still rocking today. But first, I gotta blow it up here. We got to show the shirt. Show the shirt. There you go. Represent. There you go. I love it.
Got to represent.
Oh, and James got the shirt. Look at that.
Me too.
Yeah.
And my enamel pin, I designed it myself. And it's night glow. It glows at night.
Wow. That is awesome.
Last pin, my company designed it, and we had it made in China, and we do a mail service and sell it all over the world.
How cool is that? Yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome. It glows in the dark, guys. You guys know you want one.
Take a look.
Look at that.
That's very detailed design. Very detailed design.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Right now we got fans in the audience. They're throwing it up. They're very excited. Lady Danish in the house saying hello. That's right. We have Heather in the house saying hello. Yes.
I can't see you, but I want to say hello to all the fans around the world. I know there are a lot of them around the world.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And Heather says, love, love. Big Trouble in Little China. That's right. We got Brennan here saying big fan. They already want the pin. They already want that pin.
Perfect, Heather. I see the little picture there.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, Preston.
Yeah. Yo.
I just remembered right now over here. I have a cup of lightning. Can you see them?
We'll blow it up.
Oh yeah.
Where'd you get that?
It was for a fan fest, and I went to go see. It was like a couple years ago. I went to go see Big Trouble in Little China on a 35mm print.
Oh, I'm jealous.
In the theater, because I didn't get to do that as a kid, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to see it on 35mm, the way it was supposed to be.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And they gave me that and a bunch of other cool stuff. But I remember, oh wait, man, I got lightning cup.
Yeah. Well, I had to invite you here to co-host with me, my brother, because we are Big Trouble fans. But first, let's go ahead and jump right into some questions here. James, sir, when did you start taking martial arts? And what gave you the bug, the filmmaking bug, the acting bug? What kind of inspired you and motivated you to get in the industry?
Definitely, one and only, it was Bruce Lee that inspired me into my journey of Kung Fu and martial art learning since I was probably 15, 16 years old,
Yeah.
I learned anything from Taekwondo to Karate to what's it called? Aikido. I learned all of that before I was 18. And I was so inspired by Mr. Bruce. He's such a legend. Because when he was already famous, I was just a kid in Hong Kong and saw him on TV. And I just said, this man is so incredible. He's like a machine. And I was totally impressed. I mean, I won't be able to tell you all the details of what he'd done before, but he definitely inspired me. And he definitely stood up for the Asian people, you know, because back then, I have to tell you, Hong Kong, Singapore, Malaysia, all these countries, back then, they call it a third world country. Mm-hmm. You know, and Asians, yes, you know, a lot of Asians, a lot of Chinese in populations, but one is as respected as today because Hong Kong was British colony. You know that, right?
Yes.
For years, it was given back in 90-something, which is definitely need to be respected, you know, Hong Kong and China.
Yes,
but
sir.
Before that, I learned the martial arts, and I was also a singer. I was also a dancer, believe it or not. You know, I do jazz and ballet. I was a ballet dancer for Hong Kong Royal Ballet as a guest principal. So everything I do is related to art, you know, performing art, but not.
Yes.
But who inspired me into acting? Again, the legendary, what's his name? All of a sudden, I slipped my mind. Streetcar Named Desire. Brando, Marlon Brando.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
yes.
Nice.
Yeah, he's the man.
Oh, yeah.
Know, top 10 actors and actresses in the world, and his great acting, whether it's the Italian Mob or Streetcar Named Desire, really inspired me, you know, how to be a good actor. And when I was learning acting, I was saying to myself that all the American Asian actors working in Hollywood would only be able to act in Asian part that was given. That was the first question I asked myself when I learned it. But after I kind of went from New York and got the job for Big Trouble, and I established myself, you know, with at least 20 TV movies and series, and then I already got Big Trouble, you know, came out, and also the big show Nasty Boy, which only lasted 13 episodes. I don't know if you saw it, but it was an incredible series, I'm telling you.
Yeah, we're going to get into that in a second. But yeah, that's awesome. Bruce Lee and...
Because all that is related.
Right, yeah.
And after all of that, then all of a sudden, you know, I go back to my agent. I said, you know, I mean, can I be treated just like anybody, you know, without thinking about my color, whether black or white or yellow, whatever? Can I just go up and auditioning for parts that could be a doctor, okay, or could be a lawyer, you know, but it doesn't have to be white or black, could be Asian, right?
Right.
And tells me that you are dreaming. Said, you know, it's okay. You know, so after that, I left her, and then I went on with other agent who was more in tune with what I said.
Right.
Always a forward thinker. I'm never a follower. I don't follow anybody. I always originate with what my thoughts are or my ideas. And I was way too early for the Asian scene. And I'm glad 35 years later, finally, Asians are getting their share. Still not enough. At least out of 10 TV shows streaming, at least 5 of them has an Asian character lead in it. You know, just like when I was doing Nasty Boy, I was one of the 5 lead. Although I only had 1 episode out of 13, everybody else had 2 or more than 5, you know.
Right.
Storyline on that specific person. Again, that was not fair. But it's all past. It's all good. It was a great show, and I was glad I was in it. But pretty much that gives you a nutshell of how I went into it. It was a struggle, but it happened so quickly after I got the Big Trouble, and everything just fly, because I believe in my acting, you know, because I don't do anything second-handed, and I don't do anything second-rated. I believe in, if I want to do something, it has to be better than anybody else, or I'm the top grade in whatever I do, whether it's Kung Fu, whether it's ballet, or whether it's jazz, or whether it's singing. 18, I was already in South America, Chile, believe it or not. I was just a, you know, college student. I was there already performing for thousands and thousands of Chilean ladies, and they all went crazy. I don't know why.
James Pax.
Related to Latin culture. I'm very much into Latin culture. My not grandparents, my godparents They live in New Jersey because I went to a high school in New Jersey. They pick me up every weekend to go to their house and have dinner with them, and they take me to all their dances and church and all of that. So I'm very in tune with the Latin culture. But on top of that, I was in Chile when I was 18. Instantly, after 2 shows on TV, I'm an instant star.
Wow. Wow.
Long time ago, of course, as a singer, you know.
Yeah.
Pretty much that's what I believe in. You know, whatever I do, it's got to be best of the best. Otherwise, I don't even do it. I don't waste my time unless I am the best or one of the best in that field.
Copy that. That's a great attitude to have, right, Joel?
Oh, for sure. 100%.
Yeah. While you were doing television, James, were you modeling at the same time, or this came before that?
From the very beginning, I was already a what do you call it, amateur model. Okay, but it grew very quickly. Even in New York, I was already doing left and right.
Yeah.
Commercials like Old Spice. Can you imagine Old Spice? In the history of Old Spice, the first Asian man.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Somebody find that commercial. And someone find that commercial and send it to me right away. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But
sometimes I said I believe in faith and I believe in these natural signs. Let me tell you a little story, really funny.
Sure.
When I was like twirling my thumb, I said, oh my God, you know, I tried so hard and no parts come to me. And all of a sudden, I was just sitting in the park having my lunch, you know, having my McDonald's. And all of a sudden, a pigeon flew on top of me and shit on my shoulder. I said, my God, do I not have a bad day? You know, I'm worrying about how I'm going to make it. And I get shitted. Clearly enough, 2 hours later, I got a call from my agent and said, oh, you just landed 2 commercials that you auditioned in the last 2 weeks. Oh, my God, you're going to make a lot of money.
Wow.
That's how I started my career as a commercial actor. And I was always the first Asian representative in that brand.
Wow.
That's why. That's awesome.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
One other example, which I'm very proud of to say, because I'm always a pioneer. During the early 90s, after I did Big Trouble in Little China, and I didn't know it was so incredibly famous already in Europe. A European cigarette company approached me and said, do you want to be one of our, image person? I said, sure. If you pay me good money and flew me out there on business class, I would love to do it. So back to back, in a matter of 3 years, I did 2 cigarette commercials. One is West Cigarette, one is Philip Morris Cigarette. My face, one of them is just with me and black and white, probably 5 leads, and I was one of the leads. And the other one is that I'm clearly the Asian lead, just me. And believe it or not, that director, German director, I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. He's a big fan of me and Big Trouble in Little China. And you know how he designed my character? He's so pioneer. That's what I said. I was a pioneer, but there was somebody else as pioneering as I am. He put me like a Western cowboy with a cowboy hat. And with a bunch of blonde hair, blue-eyed, in bikinis and in cowboy outfits. And I'm sitting there as if I'm the big boss, the cowboy, the Asian cowboy. Amazing. Those are the things I did when I was, just in my late 20s. And then I went on to Italy, for a vacation, and a friend met me and said, oh my God, do you know Big Trouble is a big thing in Italy? I said, I didn't know. What about Nasty Boy? Oh yeah, we know that too.
Yeah.
He's a friend of Armani, Giorgio Armani, if you know about fashion.
Right, yeah.
Giorgio Armani was very big in the 80s and 90s because of the movie American Gigolo with Richard Gere. He designed all the costuming there. That's how it became, boom, a superstar.
Wow.
Anyway, he took my portfolio to Giorgio, and Giorgio viewed himself. He said, yes, we want James. You know why? Because I'm a star again in Japan. Again, pioneer. I'm the first Asian American to be in Japan making movies and TV series as a lead and speaking in Japanese.
Nice.
And they say, yeah, we definitely want James because, of what he has done. And the funny thing is when I stepped in there, I realized I was the shortest guy. You know, I'm only 5'11". Everybody else was 6'2" and 6'4". You know, all the white and black guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he personally fit me. And then he said, "Oh, we have to find you a pair of shoes. What size you wear?" I said, "I only wear 42, very small size." I said, "I doubt that you have shoes on my size because everything they have is like 10 or 11 or 12, you know?"
Yeah.
And I said, "No, none of those shoes are going to fit me." "Oh, 42. Oh, my same size. You should wear my shoes." Armani took off his white suede shoes.
That's awesome.
Feet become the headline of the show to advertise it. You know,
wow.
They call me a Japanese superstar.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Guest starring in the Armani show, and I became the headline of the whole thing.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Man. Well, you're off to a great start here, but I like, what you mentioned earlier in terms of, being inspired by Bruce Lee and Marlon Brando, but you didn't want to be stereotyped.
That's right.
You wanted different roles, and that's why you got the new agent. Well, speaking of all kinds of different roles, you've done so much television. I mean, we're talking classic TV here, T.J. Hooker, MacGyver, Tour of Duty, Matlock, and you've played so many different types of roles, and it's just really awesome to see that, James. Do you have any fond memories of 80s television shows that you were in?
I personally think 80s and 90s TV shows, I have to say, is a lot better than what I see today on the stream platform.
Yes.
I 100% agree.
Not to knock what's happening right now, and definitely not to knock that finally Hollywood is promoting Asian subjects and Asian actors. But the quality and the storyline is definitely too much offbeat and for the mainstream taste, Right. And definitely Tour of Duty, I have to mention that is my favorite, one of my favorite show, and also my favorite part among all the American TVs I've done, for one simple reason. I was only in the early 30s and I played a 60-year-old Vietnamese, Viet Cong, which is the enemy, Viet Cong doctor who tried to save a Black American GI. I was trying to nurse the Black American GI back to good health, and yet my superior thought I was, helping him, and instead he shot me in the end. Very poignant story.
Wow.
It was very wonderfully created.
Yeah.
And I was surprised I got the part, because when I was auditioning, I went my hair because I was such a young man with big shoulder and everything, and I hunchback myself, just like Marlon does, to characterize himself, and I try to make myself very skinny, and it looked that way. And trust me, I was full of muscles if I take off my shirt.
Yeah.
And then I changed my whole persona and wear my glasses, and it looked like 60-year-old. And when I fell, when I was shot, my hand was shaking like this, like an animal, like a snake, because I believe in animal behavior, because those are the things I learned in acting.
Yes. Copy that.
And again, that was amazing storyline, very humanistic. That's what I like about it.
Copy that. Yeah, Tour of Duty. I remember that was really popular. And everybody knows MacGyver, the classic theme song. But let's keep rocking and rolling here. How was it working with Chuck Norris and Sammo Hung and Charles Bronson?
If we are talking about martial art world, I have to say there's only two people that I want to pay my respect. One is Bruce, the other one is Chuck.
Wow.
For what reason? Simply because they were the legend. Without them doing that movie and fighting at the Colosseum in Rome, martial art movie will not be what it is today.
Way of the Dragon.
Yeah,
that's right.
And Bruce fighting with Chuck, who was a champion, in karate, was a classic scene. You watch that scene 100 times, you still think. It was such simple move going back and forth. And then in the beginning, they have Bruce doing the kicks, this, and then Chuck's doing his moves, I thought that was classic. You know why? It's about detailness, characterization and detailness. You talk about the movie today action, all you see is bang, 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 and then throwing everybody apart. and you don't really see how do they prepare for a fight.
Right.
Right.
That movie was directed by Bruce Lee. Thank you, Bruce. You're a man that know about characterization. That's why I said movie 35 years ago is better than any action film today, really. Because today, everything is about special effect this, special effect that. And
overly stylized.
You don't see what's going on, you know, and then suddenly the camera jerks around. Man,
that's a no-no here on the channel. We boo that. You can show the action, right? Show it.
That whole born supremacy look.
To choreograph and the stuntmen's, you know, getting hit so many bloody times. You got to have them show their piece. Don't fuck it up.
Exactly.
You know, leave the camera there, would you please? Just
there you go.
They do it. You know. Have some respect for these stuntmen and the choreographer.
Thank you. Yes. Preach it. Preach it. Simple but effective, right, James? That's what we want. That's what kind of
G.I. Joe comes to mind, right?
Which one?
G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe. There's a lot that come to mind.
The Bourne movies.
I've done it wrong. Yeah.
It's always like camera is like running, you know, and shaking around, and you see a lot of action going on, but you don't see anything really.
Exactly.
Any details, you know.
Yeah. No, very, very well said. Perfectly said. But I revisited a movie I haven't seen in a long time, Kinjite.
Oh, wow.
And man, your role in this movie really stole the movie, James. You were so good in this film.
I'm humbly accept.
Was this a tough shoot?
Not as acting wise, but definitely requires some characterization, because being an action actor, I'm playing a very traditional father with a mental problem, you know, like to molest a child, you know, that kind of thing, which is written in the movie, playing the part. So I got to be able to, you know, portray that. And that's a little bit difficult. But I have to tell you that Mr. Charles Bronson, again, another wonderful action actor I respect.
All right.
One of the few action actors I respect definitely is Charles Bronson and also Clint Eastwood. They were my all-time favorite. You know, they just
what's one of your favorite Clint Eastwood movies?
Oh, so many of them. You know, Ugly something. He has so many classics. Modern Cops or the Western. So many of them. He just got a look. You know.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't have to say anything. He just got the look. That's all he has to do.
Yeah. Some people just have it.
People just got that. I always say they are actors and they are stars. Bruce, Charles Bronson, Clint, and Marlon Brando, James Dean, you know, and a couple of others. They are all stars because whatever they do, it's already a classic. You know, and many others are great actors, of course, but these people are truly stars because they exude an aura that is so different than everybody else.
Yeah. Speaking of, that's great you brought that up. And The Good and the Bad and the Ugly is a classic. We do love it here on the channel. But you know, to go perfectly with what you just said, I just seen Into the Dragon, Joel, over here by me, theater, played it on the big screen. So I got for the first time to see Into the Dragon on the big screen. And I agree with you, James. You just can't take your eyes off of Bruce. And even when he's not doing anything, when he catches the apple and pulls the dagger out, and he's just sitting there looking, you're just you can't, Steve. Even when he's not doing anything, you can't take your eyes off the guy.
They are stars. They are naturally born stars to be in front of the camera, because just little things they do, it's just like you can't take your eyes away. They don't have to say anything. You know, like James Dean. He comes in, he leans himself around, you know, the giant, you know, a 37-year-old young man playing a 60-year-old guy, and he's getting drunk with his glasses falling off. It's so bloody real. I'm telling you, I said, that's an actor I want to emulate. Or Marlon Brando playing The Godfather, you know, with his mouth full of, you know, tissue papers, and
yeah.
he does a little bit of this, just a little bit of that, Oh, that's character.
Yeah.
He created it. Yeah. And you always remember that, because that's called, I'm into great acting and into great martial arts. And really, they are the industry's giant to be emulated,
Yes. Yeah. Well said. Well said. How was it working with James Woods and Donald Sutherland on the other project you had? How was it working with those two actors?
I think James Wood was a wonderful guy. He's definitely a very smart man. His mind turns very fast.
Yeah.
Because when I work with somebody, I always get a sense of what their acting is, because I always wanted to see what he has that I should learn from, because I'm a learner.
Copy that.
He is very fast, because his eyes, when he look at you or when he's not looking at you and he's searching for his lines, trust me, it looks so natural, but it's all designed, especially with James. Because every time we do a couple of takes, and he always does the look away or whatever, just to make it look natural at the same time.
Wow.
Art of acting. Because everybody does it differently. Maybe Marlon will do it like every time he's standing around, he'll be doing different things. But James, he has everything down to the quarter of a second, that kind of thing. Great.
Copy that.
Wonderful. Very, very professional.
Do you like Robert De Niro? Do you like him?
Again, my top 10. Robert De Niro and what's his name?
Pacino.
Pacino.
Yeah.
Top,
yeah.
Somebody, Glenn, the 60s and 70s, black and white. I can't remember everybody's name because I have very short memory. All my top 10 favorites, definitely.
Oh, yeah. Joel, any favorites? Favorite actors of all time?
For me?
You can't say James Pax. You're cheating.
Golly, man, just put me on the spot like that. Well, I mean, since we're talking about Big Trouble, Kurt Russell, I think he's been in the game since he was a kid.
Oh yeah.
I love watching him stuff, but there are some roles, even like, this may seem crazy because a lot of people don't consider him a good actor, but Stallone, like Rambo, or when you see the first Rambo, or you see the first Rocky.
Yeah.
And he's given a legit great performance, man.
Legit.
And you believe it. And a lot of people don't consider him as a contender, when you compare him to like Al Pacino or something, but he's delivering the goods,
Oh, yeah. He was incredible in that one. That's a classic.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. I'm having a blast talking movies. This is what we do here, having fun. Me and James and Joel, we could talk our favorite movies all day.
All day long.
All day. Oh, let me throw mine in. Let me throw mine in. Love Toshida Mifune. Tetsuya Nakadai.
My favorite.
And Chow Yun Fat. There's some. Samurai Guy to throw some in there.
Yes.
But speaking of Hong Kong here, you were in a lot of Hong Kong film projects. Did you have a favorite Hong Kong film project that you were in? And who were some of your favorite actors and actresses you worked with?
Let's talk about my favorite first. Definitely Michelle Yeoh, who's a friend for many years, although we haven't seen each other since I come back to Asia, and she stayed in Hollywood. Is this movie called The Heroic Trio? Yes, I played her guardian, kind of, because I'm a scientist, invented the suit for her.
Yes.
And we have a kind of a very subtle love relationship, and I died in her arm, actually. But trust me, this movie was big budgeted because it cost $5 million USD back in the 90s. In Asia, you can hardly find any movie that's more than $1 million USD. And that movie was $5 million USD and did 20 million overall in Asia, which is a huge hit already back in the 90s in Asia. So because they had 3 female lead, they are the true lead. They are the 3 fantastic lady warriors, kind of like Marvel, but they are Asian ladies.
Better.
That kind of,
Yeah, Nita Mui, Maggie Chung. I mean, Anthony Wong's in this movie. It's a phenomenal movie. It's one of my favorites. It's got everything. It's got fantasy. It's got superhero vibe to it. Martial arts. I love Heroic Trio.
I have to say I enjoy doing leads leading parts in my Asian repertoire. You know why? Because back in the States, yes, I was doing very well. You know, I'd make a lot of commercials and TV guest stars and Nasty Boys, you know.
Yeah.
But still, I was never the clear lead, you know. But when I went back to Asia, that was my purpose. I need to be a lead myself, or at least the co-lead. And although the budgets are very small, all of them are, you know, 1 million or 1.5 million only. But it really allowed me a chance to really portray the character that I want to portray, you know.
Nice.
And it worked very well. There's a movie, I don't know what they call it in English, but I play a what do you call it? A murderer, you know, a ladies' man who has 3 women surrounding him and 3 relationships going on at the same time. And then all of a sudden they're having an orgy at night. And then one of the lady, you know, the 2 ladies got so jealous of each other, and somehow one of the lady died, and I have to help to chop her up and put her body, remaining part, in the box, and then use the acids trying to.
Whoa, this sounds wild. I want to see this.
Wow, it's a great movie, little movie, and it won awards in Taiwan. You know, they call it the Golden Horse Award.
Nice, nice.
But
Joel, we're gonna have to look that up.
Story, real event, basically. You know.
Nice, yeah.
And so I had a lot of characterization to do. You know.
Yeah.
How to what do you call it? Romanticizing with 3 ladies, and yet still show the part of that he can be an evil at the same time. You know?
Yeah, I like that. I like it. We're gonna have to find it. We're gonna hunt it down, Joel. We're gonna.
I'm gonna have to check that one out.
Yeah, yeah.
On those pictures that you showed of those movies, did I see the Dragon Chronicles?
That's the one.
Or what's it called?
No, that's not that one.
The Maiden Chronicles.
Well, they call it the
Dragon Chronicles too.
Mountains or something right here. In
yeah.
These 4 are the movies I star in. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm just putting it together now. You're the guy that cuts off his leg, right?
I cut so many people's leg. Yeah. One of the movie called Tianlong Babu. I don't know what they call it.
Okay.
Many Asian stars in it, including Gong Li. You know,
right.
Back in the 80s, he was very famous. And I was a crippled guy kind of thing, you know. But right. So I had the chance to play all type of characters, which is really what I like. I want to.
Yes.
Really, you know, give me a chance to tear myself up, you know.
Yeah.
So that I know that, yes, I can do, you know, any parts that any directors given to me, and I try to do the best for them.
Yeah.
Right.
And that movie actually went to the Golden Horse Award. And believe it or not, it won. The leading lady was a very famous actress. Wu Jiali is her name. She's done at least over 100 movies. She never won an award. But because of this movie, of her great acting with me, because I'm always an inspiring actor to everybody.
Right.
Because I'm very effective.
Yeah.
You know, and I try to get the actors to feel what I do. And when they feel it, their acting excels because of me. That I can say. Right. And because of me acting with her, she won the award. And why did I not win?
It's rigged. It's rigged, Joel.
I'll just tell you very quickly. In Asia, you know, there's also people that want to ignore you. I didn't have an agent. I was a what do you call it? A solo. I make all my deals myself.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't have any backups, and they just didn't want to promote me, basically, because the movie vehicle more for Wu Jiali than me. And how I found out was when I went to Taiwan, you know, for promotion. Yeah. And one of the judge came up to me. He said, "James, is that you, James? You are in this movie?" I said, "Yeah, I'm in it. You know, how do you like it?" He said, "I love it. I'm one of the judge in the Golden Horse Award, but we are so amazed that with such a great acting of yours, you are not nominated to be the best actor."
Wow.
Really? Oh, well, you know, I'm just an American actor. I'm kind of, you know, fresh off the boat in Hong Kong here. You know, I don't know. He said, "Oh, you were so incredible." They said, "If they had nominated you, you would have been the best actor for that year." I said, "Well, thank you. I appreciate it." At least I know somebody appreciates
they recognize the skills.
They recognize it too.
That's right. That's right. Well, I mean, that's awesome. You got this opportunity to play the leads and to stretch as an actor and perfect your craft, right? I mean, that's awesome. That's awesome. Oh, we got a fan here. Sexy Sumo says, James is the one and only Raiden. Lightning rules, and now I'm off to work. Sorry, you have to go to work, Sumo. But thanks for chiming in here. But we're almost there, guys. I know we're everyone's itching for the big trouble questions. We're almost there. But really quick, James, before we head on. So Nasty Boys, I was reading up on it, and this was a critically acclaimed show. And I was looking up I was reading a lot of comments for the show, and there was a lot of fans, and a lot of people were not happy that it kind of got cut short, and people want this show to come back. That's
right.
Yeah.
That was my idea. If I become big next year, of course, which I told you about Shaolin Warrior.
Right.
I will go to NBC and say, would you let me be the showrunner? I will write it, or I will hire someone to write it, but let me be the showrunner, and I will revamp the show. I can guarantee you it's going to be the top 5 show on your NBC.
Oh, yeah. Guaranteed.
Although I had the smallest part, which I have to say, definitely unfair, but I do respect the characters that was created and the base. It's about narcotic cops, 5 different guys. Right. The show was created because Dick Wolf wanted to emulate the Miami Vice. Miami Vice only had 2 guys, black and white. They want to be more like Rainbow Coalition, and everybody has a different character and everybody has a different vehicle. I had a ninja bike, and everybody else, because we seize what we use what we seize, means whatever we seize from the drug dealers, we use it ourselves, basically, So we have these exotic cars and exotic ninja bike, and my image was kind of between Don Johnson and Bruce Lee, well-dressed Asian narcotic cop that can kick ass. And ninja bike.
Well, speaking of kicking ass, I saw your fight against James Liu. Good old James Liu, man. I was like, it was a badass fight. I enjoyed that. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Speaking of fighting, how was it being on the set of Shoot Fighter? And how was it working around Bolo Young and Cobra Kai alumni, William Zabka and Martin Kove?
Yeah, I think these are all wonderful gentlemen. Unfortunately, I didn't get to fight, which is also good. So give me a chance to be more of an actor. I'm just like a judge, executive kind of thing. Right. I love my suit. I love the way they put me in my suit. I look good in suits.
Look at that.
And Bolo is always Bolo, and the other 2 gentlemen were all wonderful, of course. And I have to congratulate, what's his name?
William Zabka and Martin Kove. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to congratulate him because, his TV show took off.
Yeah.
At the old age of what, 50 or 60, all of a sudden, it's revamped. And I think that is a great thing, for Hollywood and for these actors, definitely.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure.
I can't even tell you how many times I've seen Shoot Fighter as a kid. It's kind of one of those, like, that was just on repeat.
Yeah, it was amazing.
These need to be come out on like Blu-ray, Joel, like a box set or something.
Yeah,
yeah, that would sell. I think MVD Rewind or something like that. They should release it on Blu-ray for sure. But yes, let's get to the first Emperor here. Let's talk about this. Was this your most challenging role, and is this your favorite role also?
I have to say, I have a lot to do with the production and the script. Although I did not write the script. But I work with a fabulous British writer and director. I contributed my part on the script, and he was very, he wanted to collaborate. So I gave him a lot of ideas, and then he rewrites the whole thing to make it even better. It's done in 2006, when China at that time was very eye-opening to the world. And that's why this movie was made. It was invested by Channel 4 UK, which is a very famous channel, and Discovery USA. And after it was made, it took 3 months all over China to do it. And the good thing is it was not in Chinese. It's all in English.
Yes.
And it is known to be the first English Chinese historical subject as a docudrama. It means 80% drama and 20% documentary.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes.
And it's so wonderfully put together, a small budget, you know, but it looked like millions of dollars, but it's not.
Yeah, especially this shot right here. I mean, that's pretty well done. Speaking of going back to what you said earlier, Joel, about does James cut off the head in that other movie? He's holding a head right now in this shot for the first emperor. So he's cut off a lot of heads.
I did, because he was a tyrant. Oh, and he's the first man. That's why they call it the first emperor, because he's the first man to unite the entire China. You know how big it is. It's as big as America. You know, he's he united it 3,000 years ago. First man. So he has to be kind of like a tyrant, just to make sure everybody listens.
Take a few heads.
Yes,
it's part of it.
And his tomb is so famous that his tomb is filled with mercury. That's what he believes. And mercury is going to be, what do you call it? Forever kind of a thing.
Right. Well, congratulations on your part in this film, and congratulations on the film's success. I mean, I put a link in the description box below, guys, so you guys can watch the whole movie here on YouTube. But yeah, congrats! Over 4 million views on YouTube.
4.5. Amazing. And when it first came out, it was sold in over 300 channels around the world. Means every country, from South America to even Japan and America, you know, big or small countries, they all bought the rights for it. And it's replayed and replayed and replayed. And only in the recent year, they put it up on YouTube, and it's got 4.5 million because I have at least 4.5 million fans.
That is amazing.
Unbelievable to say.
Yeah, that's a lot of views. That's a lot of views. All right, now it's time. Yes. It is time to talk about the classic, the 80s classic. A lot of people that I know, I got Joel over here, but there's so many other people that I know that are huge, gigantic fans, to the point where a lot of them, it is their favorite movie of all time. And we're going to talk about Big Trouble in Little China. This movie's so special, and like James was saying, it's original. It can't be duplicated.
Right.
It's got a little bit of everything: martial arts, horror, comedy. It's got a little bit of everything. Cannot be duplicated. For how long, Joel, have they been talking about remaking this movie? And
I think they were talking about The Rock at one point.
Like 5 years, 6 years ago, The Rock was. I mean, like, no, it just keeps every time interest for a remake, it just keeps falling.
I think it's because the fans shut it down.
Exactly.
Because why do you need a remake something that's a masterpiece?
Exactly.
You don't need to.
No.
In fact, Big Trouble is one of those movies where, like, if you don't like it, I'm sorry, we just can't be friends. Like, it's one of those movies, right? Where, like, you don't like it? Okay, we can't be friends.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So, Joel, the floor is yours for the Big Trouble questions, my friend. Go for it.
Yes. Oh, man. So, first of all, I want to know, do you remember the audition process at all for Big Trouble in Little China? How did that go?
This is a classic story. I tell you, you know, that was like back 35 something years ago. I was in my early 20s, and I was all pumped up, full of muscles. I take off my shirt, I look just like Bruce Lee. I can tell you that. That's how fit I was. And almost every kick that Bruce Lee can do, I can do about 80% of what he can do. And so when my agent, you know, who was a very famous agent, and he said, oh, there's this part coming from New York for audition. John Carpenter is directing it, and it's Asian fantasy, and they want to see you. We don't know what kind of part they have, but they want to see you. I said, okay. So be prepared to do Kung Fu and all of that, and maybe they will give you a sides to read or whatever. I said, okay, I'm prepared. So I got my partner who actually was into wushu. You know, wushu is the sports of Kung Fu, you know, international sports now. And he studied in China. So he taught me some moves in wushu, you know, kicking, and then the weapons, the spear and all of that. So I took a couple of lessons from him. And then I said, you got to go with me for this audition because you never know. He was just a teacher. So let's audition together, but we got to be prepared, you know. So him and I at least practiced like 4 or 5 hours, you know, of fist fighting, right into weapon fighting and all of that. And then so we went in and auditioned. And of course, you know, John didn't know who I was. And he said, go ahead. Just do what you can. Show us the action first. So we did like a 10-minute nonstop from fist fighting into weapon, nonstop.
Nice.
Wow.
You know, for 10 straight minutes, and nobody say stop. And so we just did the whole 10 minutes. And after that, you know, John stood up and said, oh my God, this is the best live audition I've seen so far. That's how I got my part.
Nice.
I wonder if that's on tape somewhere.
I know. It was so classic. But one other thing, little, you know, story to tell. I tell you, like I said, I'm always very ambitious, because they sent me the script and I read it, and the leading part was not Lightning, but the leading part was, you know, the sidekick of Caruso. So I was thinking maybe they're going to have me read this part. And yes, they did let me read that part, you know, for the acting audition. And yet they didn't offer me the part. Instead, they offered me this part, Lightning. And then I look at my script again when my agent said, oh, you know what? They're going to offer you this part, which is not the lead, but it's very good lead. It's a nemesis. I read it. I said, excuse me, you know, this has no lines. So I was kind of laughing to myself, and I was kind of making a little comment to my agent. He said, oh, don't worry, John's movies is going to be big. Maybe this is going to be classic, you know, just do it. So at the time, I actually got another offer from General Hospital. And they were offering me a lot of money. I think it was like $300,000 or something, you know, for like a 6-month contract, which is unheard of for an Asian actor. So I had to make a decision, either stay in New York for another 6 months or take this big trouble. I couldn't make up my mind, so I asked my agent, and he said, oh, you got to take this movie because it's going to send you right to LA, and you're going to become a feature movie actor instead of General Hospital. I said, okay, I listen to you. So lo and behold, I flew into LA, which, again, I'm fresh off the boat, you know, Chinese guy. Although it's all Asian cast, except the crews are all white, you know. And I didn't know nobody. I mean, James Hong, these are all new people to me. You know, I kept it to myself because I don't know anybody, you know. But it was very, how should I say? Why should I say this movie is so classic? You know why? Again, like you said, it has so many wonderful elements. But the fact of the matter is there is little special effect. You know, everything is done real. Even when the 3 guys, you know, I was strapped onto a gear to go up and down. It was very tough. Back then, those gears was definitely not comfortable. And then 3 of the guys do a flip in the air, and then at the end, and they throw the knife. If you look at it, it was such simple, very straight on camera or side camera, and just edit it, and yet it looks so effective. But instead, these days, you see all these Marvel movie, you know, they have these people flying around, you know, and beating each other up, and with lightning or with the X's or with the whatever, it just looked kind of fake. Excuse me, you know, it was not real. But what John did back then was so simple editing, and yet it's just so effective. And then the truck rolls over James Hong, and everybody said, "Oh my God, that's so funny stuff!" And then he stand up again. You know, that's why I said it doesn't need too many CGI. It needs ingenuity, and it needs creativity, and it needs daringness to do things like this. And in details, it's all done in details. The action, you know, the truck rolling over, and then he stood up and said, "Oh my God, this guy," you know, and the reaction from the crowd and all of that. It's so detailed designed. That's the genius of John Carpenter, who can recreate from a script which doesn't give you any image, and then he recreated out of his head to make it something like this. Because I read the script, the script doesn't really do me a lot. But when you see the movie, you say, "Oh, this is really incredible." Visually, the only special effect I can tell you is the lightning. The lightning was put in after. Everything else was all real.
Well,
and even the sets, you know, remember the Buddha was like falling from this end to the other end?
Yeah.
I can tell you, those are all real Buddhas. It wasn't like drawn in or anything. And they just have to shoot it, have somebody push it, and it's go amazing. I'm telling you, it's all real. And they can only do it one take only. That's the beauty of it.
Wow. That's amazing.
And also the grate that you put on fire that falls behind you.
Yeah, that's also something I wanted to tell the fans. You know?
But before that, hold that, James. Really quick, I got a little clip for all you badasses watching. Let's go back in time here. Let's see James in action here. Oh my God, it's so badass. It is so badass. It's so amazing. I'm sorry, I'm fanboying right now. I'm sorry.
Cleaning, no CGI, and yet it's so effective. You know, like within 5 seconds, everything is going on. You know, and it's so real.
Oh yeah, the chat,
like the best entry of a nemesis ever. Like,
oh, it's so.
I remember as the kid watching it, going, they just cranked this thing to 100. Like this is insane.
Yeah,
and it stuck with me. You know, like you know, even though like Wang is the lead Asian in that movie.
Yeah,
when I walked away, all I remembered was lightning. That's the one thing I remember. Like it was just so like vivid in my mind, and the 3 storms and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's just all the scenes you're in is just really iconic, especially the underground scene, which you're going to tell us how they did that. But I want to show a little snippet of it right here. One of the most amazing, iconic scenes from the film.
Amazing.
Got a problem.
Right,
dude. All right, James. How? That was just a little snippet of the scene, but how did you guys put that together?
Exactly. Well, John is always very busy, you know, directing and giving orders, So me and John really had very little chance to speak to each other. But on the scene, he really come to me and we really discussed about how he wants it. You know, he said, this scene is going to be very effective because the way we designed it, there's going to be a big fireball, you know, made of wood, going to fall down straight to your head. So you make sure you walk out of it after you do your action. But we need to make it look great, you know, because you got 4 corners, and then I'm going to have lightning going through the tunnels and all of that. So I said, fine, John, let me design something interesting so that you are going to be happy. All right. So that's why everything I do is designed. Just like James Wood, he designed everything. And that's what I do. Even when I came down from the seating, you see the movement is probably less than 10 movements. But it looks so effective. Why? Because it is not like just going.
Yeah.
And see anything. I slow it down and there is pause in between, so that there is like a dance. There's a rhythm. There's a fly, there's a quick and slow. And so that it has a chance when I imagine they're going to draw in the lightning, when I stop right there, you know, so that it has a rhythm to it. It's like a dance. And that's why after the lightning is drawn in, it becomes, oh my God, even I saw it. I said, what I designed, the CGI guy really digs it. And he really reads my mind of how I design my movement. And that's why it becomes such a classic. Same thing in the tunnel. So I said, okay, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to go right to the seating, because in order for a fireball to come down, I got to cut off something, right? So I said, I got to cut off 4 corners first in order for the fireball to come down. So I go left and right, and then I think I'll go also to the 4 corners. And then I walk out, and this big wood made. It was actually made with very heavy wood. After I walk out, I couldn't look back, but I can feel it because
wow,
it was only like a meter or a feet or two right behind me, you know, because I want to make it look so real. And it just fell right behind me. I can feel the wind and the heat right behind me. And it just go, I can hear it. I just tried to be cool and just keep on walking, you know?
Yeah.
Classic scene. I agree, because it's so original. And lightning is going from corner to corner. And then the Caruso and then Wang was like scrambling to get the hell out of there.
Oh, yeah.
Again, it's original. It's original.
Yeah.
You want to follow the scene like that. Again, it's all done with design and rhythm to it. So that's why it's so classic. You know why? Because I can tell you, if it's Marvel movie today and another director doing it, they're going to be doing that. And that's it. You don't even know what's going on. And yet, no, everything is done in details. You see every little move and how the lightning is traveling. That's why I say classic.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Joel.
Did you choreograph your the entry when you enter in for the first time too? The move that we all do.
I mean, we actually had a very famous Hong Kong choreographer whom I respect. It's the same man that choreographed the Keanu Reeves fantasy movie. What is that called? You know, the famous movie that made Keanu Reeves an action.
Are you talking about like
The Matrix?
The Matrix. Okay.
And that's one movie I totally respect. And the action in it, the kung fu action, is again a classic, I have to say. After Bruce, the next classic is this
The
one.
Matrix.
Yeah, well, Yuen Wo Ping is master.
Yuen Wo Ping.
Master fight choreographer, yeah.
Yes, he is the best after Bruce. He's the best. Whatever he does, it's original and it really sticks to your mind. You know, again, you see the way he does it. It's not like whoa, and that's it. It's like the person get lifted up into the walls. He's standing on the wall, and then he comes down. This move, that move, everything is one at a time, and you see it clearly. And the director was very clever that he just followed the movement without doing too much to it. That's why it's a classic.
Right.
Yuen Wo Ping was amazing. Yes, Yuen was there for sure, but Yuen was very respectful. Although we never. That was the first time he came over. He said, "James, you know what you're doing, right?" I said, "Don't worry, Mr. Yuen. I respect you, but I know what I'm doing. Just trust me. You're gonna be happy." So everything I do, I designed it, and he just said, "Very good, no problem. Just keep on doing what you do." That's very simple.
That's it.
It's so
mutual respect.
Yes. And I like to do things on my own, almost every movie I'm in, all the action, including that little clip that you see. I was in the room, with all these dummies. But I can tell you, all that move, I designed it. It was like less than 15 or 20 seconds, but I designed the whole entire thing. And I said, you got to put something out there instead of me just, cutting around with my sword. You got to have some object for me to cut so that it looks real and it look lethal. And nothing is don't think it's simple. When I cut off the head of that dummy, if I don't put enough power to it, it's not going to fall off, that body, because it has a little pole in it. Yeah. Because I cut it just right at the right place and with the power, that's why the whole head falls off. It was so perfect.
What was your process in preparing for this role?
You're talking about trouble, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Lightning. Yeah.
Well, like I said, I wish I was playing Wang, the leading part.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't regret it of playing Lightning after I realized how effective this nemesis had done for the movie. I really didn't have to prepare too much because I had no lines. All I had to do is make sure my action looked great and I look good. And whenever there's a close-up, very few close-up. One is right behind the camera was low behind from low, and I was in the head, you know, that kind of thing. I always make sure that I look good, make sure my eyes are power, you know, because eyes is everything. You gotta, you know, so whenever the close up, I always make sure my eyes is got power in it, because I know they're probably gonna put in some of these lightning in my eyes. So it's more of a preparation for action than really a preparation to play a nemesis.
Gotcha.
Right. And I know you mentioned that you didn't spend too much time with John Carpenter, but was there anything you took away from him and his directing style?
I have to say, this man is definitely a genius, because if you had read the script and what the movie became, it's totally two different things. He really emphasizes on details, even the set design. And as you know, he's a musician. He did all the music.
All the score, yep.
Yeah, but even the set design, he's involved. He tells them what he wants, and to have those Buddhas go one by one wasn't easy. You know, I don't know how they did it, but it just fell so smoothly one after the other, like dominoes. You know.
Yeah.
From him, I tip my head. I have to say he is a genius, because I've seen so many of his work, and everyone is different from each other, you know, in style and all of that. And I think he definitely cares about what he does, and he really puts a lot of time into thinking of how he wants to design each scene, which inspired me to do what I will be doing in the future as a director, definitely.
Excellent. Do you have any funny moments that happened on set, or any favorite thing that happened while filming this?
It's so long ago. I have to say, very short. But I remember the funniest guy in the whole set is James Hahn. He's always, you know, being silly and making jokes of himself and imitating some other people. Just a funny guy in general.
Yeah, and he owned this role, like completely low pan. He owned it. Yeah, for sure.
Or even what's his name? One of my favorite actor. He did the not the John Wick, but he did the you know, the women hero, the Asian lady fighting in the snow with a white lady in kimono, and the white lady was dressed in Bruce Lee, and they were doing.
You mean Kill Bill?
Bill, yeah, Kill Bill, the director.
Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, Quentin. He even put, you know, that part in his movie. Remember, he played a part just similar with white hair and kind of dilapidated kind of character. Yeah. And he plays it himself.
Yeah, Pai Mei type of character. Yeah.
He's definitely a fan of Big Trouble, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I love his movie. I have to say, he is, again, another genius writer and director. Very original. Kill Bill is a classic. Kill Bill is a classic. Again, he took it from the Asian Hong Kong movies, right? The book one, you know, and then the book two is more westernized, you know, but character that he created, you know, the women getting raped as if she's dead, you know, that kind of scenes you only see once at a time, you know, that kind of thing. You remember, you know. And she wakes up being raped, and she wakes up and kick their ass.
Right. Revenge time. Yeah. Speaking of funny moments in the movie, we have a question here. Were you there? Were you there on set when they blew up Carter Wong's character?
Oh, yes. Yes, I did.
So how did they do that?
It was basically just a balloon. Apparently they somehow made a balloon looking like him. So it's him first, and then they just put out a balloon, and so the balloon, they just keep pumping the air, and it's go boom. Simple, very simple.
Yeah. Simple but effective.
Like I said, simplicity makes it effective. It's so simple. There's no CGI. Back then there's no CGI, so they just did a very simple way with a balloon.
Hilariously iconic scene, but what else you got, Joel?
Was there a moment where, so a lot of times you film a movie, you wrap, you know, there's a wrap party, everyone goes their separate ways, and then it comes out. Was there, when did you realize, holy cow, this thing is big?
I have to say, I was most impressed when I sat at the Chinese Man Theater, because that was the premiere.
Yeah.
And I remember Carter and Peter and I were all decked up in our suits. You know, I even have pictures from that. You know, we were all young and hot to trot, but I didn't know that movie was going to be so effective. You know, as you know, back then Asian movies is hard to come by. You know, and this is 20th century Fox. My God. But after I sat in that theater and watched the final product, I said, "Ooh, this is amazing." I said, "This is great movie making." And
I mean, even look at the set design is iconic. It's just
the set design.
Oh,
it's so real, and yet everything is real. No CGI again. Everything is real set. Really, whoever designed the sets, tip my hat to his great work. Everything is done in detail. Chinese characters, you know, the neons and everything. It's beautiful sets. Somebody should use the set and make a restaurant bar out of it, because I'm a restaurant owner.
Right.
Yeah.
No, really, they should. It's so ingenious. Every detail of it is so ingenious, including the buzz and all of that. You know, so ingeniously done.
Pork Chop Express.
Right.
That's right.
And the name, I love the name, and everybody remember it.
Oh man, I love when Kurt Russell, when he sees your character come down the alleyway shooting the lightning bolts. I love how he said, like I showed in the clip, he goes, "We got a problem." It's so funny. Like it's time to run. The lightning shows up. It's time to go. Yes. And there's your nemesis there from Nasty Boys, good old James Liu.
Yeah.
Were you there to give your input on the crazy insane fight in the alleyway there? Did they ask you for any tips or anything?
No, definitely. That's not my department. That is definitely Yung Ping's department. He's the one that organized the whole thing. And I think James Liu was in charge of all the weapons, you know, and hiring of the stunts and all of that. James Liu was an associate producer on the movie, you know, in charge of the weapons and the hiring of all the stuntmen, basically.
Nice. Was there any crazy stunt man that got, or stunt stories there where somebody got hurt, or it was okay?
Well, definitely, because like I said, you know, so many of these wonderful Chinese stuntmen get thrown into the windows.
Yeah.
Again, of course, those have what they call it, some plastic or something glass, you know, just shatters by itself. But it looks so real.
Yeah.
You know, what's so good about it? It's so real. Yeah. And it was really getting thrown here, thrown there, and kicking. And using the sticks, hitting somebody, and it breaks.
Yeah. Hey, Joel.
It was a good street fight. Classic street fight.
Oh, yeah.
And yet it looked serious, and yet it looked funny when it all edited together. Especially when this side stand here, that side stand there, and they raise a weapon, and you know there's going to be a big brawl.
Oh, yeah.
Down, you know. Again, I said that is the genius of a director.
Yes,
if you see any movie these days, all you see is two sides go wham. Right. No, John said one frame for the guys to prepare and raise their weapons, and this guy too. We cut here, and then we see them charging to each other.
That's it. Yeah. And before any of that awesomeness happened, we had Gerald Okamura come out with the pistols.
Yeah, that's what, like Wild West up in there.
That was great.
Yeah, Western, you know, they got all the elements. It's all characterization. Yeah. Nobody has to say anything, but all the costume, you know, and all the weapons, they characterizes themselves. Basically, everybody becomes a distinct character in the movie.
How was it working with Carter Wong and Peter Kwong?
Wonderful. You know, Carter, very respectable actor. Peter, you know, we don't know him so well, but definitely everybody put out their 100% work, you know, hoping that this movie is going to break the glass, the ceiling. You know why? Because everybody know Asian actors, white, black, Latino, Asians were in the very bottom. And then, of course, everybody hoping that this movie is going to do something for their career, right?
Right.
Definitely, everybody worked very hard on it, for sure.
Oh yeah.
So I feel like Big Trouble. It's interesting because when I go out and I'm wearing this shirt, I have tons of movie shirts, tons of them. But this is the one that everyone stops me about. And I feel like it's a movie that continues to find its audience throughout the years. What have you experienced and like today or in the past 10 years, the popularity of this film and finding new fans? And can you talk about that experience?
I certainly can, because so many fans send me messages on the Facebook or come up to me and tell me that, James, you know what? You are my idol. I said, what do you mean by your idol? You know, I'm just an actor. He said, no, you're my idol because when I was a kid, I thought I can be lightning like you and I can shoot out lightnings. You know, you're my idol for like 30 years. I'm so glad to see you. So I always give them a hug, you know, and a selfie. You know, the way I treat my fans, I treat everybody like a family. You know why? That's one other thing I want to talk about, which is off the point, but I just want to make a point. I think the world needs more love, not gun. And sorry, not war. Definitely not Ukrainian war.
Yes.
All right. The entire world has suffered too much refugees and deaths and injuries, whether it's American GI getting their arms blown off, or the Vietnamese, or the Afghanistans, and now the Ukrainians getting blown off. Everything is because the governments don't think about the people. They only think about themselves. The worlds need more love. That's what I think.
Yes.
And Big Trouble, again, it's a big movie, but again, to me, it's an action movie, but it's all about love because it's all funny at the end, right?
Oh yeah. It's a nice big warm hug to all the fans there.
Exactly.
Heather agrees with you. All we need is love. Yes.
Exactly. You know why? These days, I really feel that too much violence on the screen. You know, too much violence. And yet, if you look at Big Trouble, wow, a lot of action. But is there violence? Not really. You don't really see any violence. It's just a lot of action that makes it become fun. And then you say, wow, that's a great hug to me.
Yeah. Even when Carter Wong blew up, his character blew up. It was comedic, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, we have another fan here. Just Geeky Andre says, 10-year-old me tried his best to cosplay Lightning after seeing this masterpiece. There you go. You got to send us pictures, Geeky, next time. Send us pictures on the Facebook page. But yeah, this is a classic movie. And Joel, was there any other ones? Any other questions?
Well, I have to, since I host every year the Mortal Kombat panels at different cons and stuff like that. And I'm friends with the guy who is Raiden, we're really good friends. Now, you obviously know, Raiden is direct, from Lightning. When you first saw that, what were your thoughts? And was it just complimentary and how big it's become? And
I thought my first knowledge on Mortal Kombat is definitely the video game.
Right.
I thought that was very ingenious. The action that was done, as they call it, they have a name for it. And actually, Daniel Pesina, who is the original guy, who did 2 or 3 characters, he's a good friend of mine.
Oh, good. You know Daniel too. Yeah, we're good friends with Daniel.
We did an interview early 2 years ago,
nice.
on my own podcast. And he told me, he said, me and my brother totally respect what you have done. You are our legend. Because of your character, we created all our actions from the characters that you have done. So I said, oh, that's very nice. So nowadays I just say, oh yeah, I'm the granddaddy of Raiden.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. You see that? You see that right there? The granddaddy right there, baby. That's right.
Well, it's interesting because Daniel Pesina's brother, Carlos Pesina, who's he talking about, plays Raiden in the first Mortal Kombat. So that's awesome. I think I actually want to just, because we talked a little bit before we started this interview tonight, and we were talking about Drunken Master 2, and I have to know the story.
Yes.
Right. I was saying, Drunken Master is definitely Jackie Chan's mate to claim to fame.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because that was directed by
Yuen Wu-ping. Yuen Wu-ping.
I don't know if it's directed. No, it's not directed by Yuen Wu-ping. It's actually directed by Mr. Liang, who passed away.
Oh, you're talking about Dragon Master 2. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You know, it was incredible work, the first one. And then the director came up to me and met me, and he said, "Would you like to be in this movie playing the opposite of Jackie Chan?" I said, "Sure, of course, I like to do it, you know." And I said, "What do I have to do? You know, well, you have to fight all the way from the beginning to the end. It's like the second lead." I said, "Oh, thank you. I'm ready to do it." But unfortunately, you know, at the time, I had a price range, and the offer was I offer half of what my price range is. And they said, "Well, that's all the budget we have. You know, we love to promote you, you know, because again, I was a new boatman off the boat in Hong Kong." But I turned it down. And after that, a lot of my friends and said, "Oh my God, James, how can you turn down a role like that? I mean, you could have become a star, you know, from then on," and all of that. I said, "You know what? Sometimes I hold my principles for many things, including when I was after the Big Trouble and also after the Michelle Yeoh movie. You know, everybody come to me, everybody, because half of the time I was running around in my little shorts, so I had my top off all the time because a lot of interior scene playing around with these three women. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I had a lot of big muscles. And so a lot of women went crazy for me. You know, I get invited to these dinner and that dinner. I even got offers, you know, for a weekend, for a price, that kind of thing. But I always hold a esteem for myself, you know.
Yeah.
I don't do things like that. You know, I'm just an actor, you know. I'm educated, you know, from a decent family. I need to respect myself.
Right.
So turn down at least 3 to 5 roles that I have to take off my pants. Okay? Or to do all these sexual scenes, which I said, I'm not that kind of actor. Right. But I even turned down some other parts for again, unfairness or whatsoever, you know, in the past. And they all say, "James, you're very stupid." I say, "Yes, I might be stupid, but I hold my respect, you know, for myself as an actor, as a human being, because I don't think I need to be shortchanged just to be famous. If I don't meant to be world famous, you know, like Keanu Reeves, so be it. I go to the grave as James Pax. Yeah. If I have to degrade myself to do all of that, sorry, I probably will go crazy. I would have, you know, probably committed suicide because I just can't stand it anymore of doing all of this. I'm very stubborn in a way, you know, but that's the way I am. But
I don't look at it as stubbornness. I look at it as wisdom. You know, I look at it as wisdom, and you know, you have morals. You stand up for what you know what is right and stuff. And that's a very respectable decision as an artist, because me working in the film industry, I've seen the other side of it, where people will do whatever they can to get that fame, to get that fortune. And for you to be like, you know, I'm confident in who I am. I'm James Pax, and that's enough. And I don't need to do this stuff, or I don't need to do something like that I don't. So that's my respects to you, sir, for doing that.
Yes. Yes. Very well said. Very well said. And before we get close to wrapping it up, I got a couple more questions for James. Had a blast tonight. One more clip from Big Trouble. I can't help it. And then I have one question for you, James, after the clip is over.
Yes.
Sorry, I had to show some more, baby. I had to show some more. So here's my question. So I heard this. I was like, well, James can confirm it. Right here, when your character dies and explodes, the little character, see the lightning character at the very top.
Yeah.
I was told that says John. That's John Carpenter's name. Is that
Yes.
true?
It means carpenter.
Oh, nice, nice.
Carpenter, making wood. Carpenter.
See, he's the source.
Yeah, put in the movie, so people remember it's done by him.
Yeah. He's the source. I had to ask. There you go, guys. If you were wondering like me, to double confirm it. Yeah, that's a nice little touch. Yeah, Carpenter.
You heard it here, kids.
That's right. You heard it here. Oh my goodness. All right. So
about the movement there, one of the clip you see the hands go.
Yeah.
That's praying mantis. I try to encompasses different style of Chinese kung fu into it because very few people know about praying mantis.
Yeah.
Very few movies talk about praying mantis, which I will be doing, which I told Preston already. I'm preparing to do my Shaolin Warrior, but later I can tell you more.
Yes. I'm excited about that project. But really, let's get down to the wire here. Let's talk about what are some of the things you'd like to see change or improve in Hollywood, James?
My humble self, just an audience and, a fellow movie maker. I really feel it is a great opportunity right now. Hollywood is celebrating Asian subjects, putting so many Asian actors, so many writers, so many directors into chief roles as showrunners or whatever, shows like Warriors, you know about Warriors, right? Yeah. And the new show on CW called Kung Fu.
Right.
You know that show? The late Kung Fu these days.
Right.
And then the movies like Shang-Chi, which I thought was quite good, Chinese.
Okay, you like Shang-Chi. All right, nice.
I like it in terms of continuity, and it's all Chinese Asian. Yeah. And also another movie called Snake. A movie came out on Paramount, spent 90 million, only do 20 million in the box office. It's called Snake something, or is it White Snake or something? It's one of the Marvel characters. I don't know if you remember, came out 2 years ago. The reason I bring this up is that it's so good that studios, whether it's Paramount or Disney, is putting so much money supporting Asian subjects. Some succeeded, some not succeeded. But I have to say something. I think the authors or the showrunners need to respect the subject. Okay? First of all, Warrior. It's Bruce Lee's creation.
Right.
All right? Bruce Lee is going to be, for another 500 years, is going to be the legendary Bruce Lee, and no one is ever going to surpass his status. And yet, first season is fine, second season, okay. Third season, I saw it. It becomes something very different. I don't know if it's about the fact that they wanted to stay on the wave so that they have to grab the audience to increase their what do you call it, share, view. It just seemed that it becomes a XXX TV series of Asian men, humping an Asian woman on the TV screen. I don't know if you see those episodes.
Wow. This is season 3 we're talking about? I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's on HBO or something like that. It's no longer on the TV. It's on HBO box or something.
Right.
Yeah. I saw it and I was in shock.
Okay.
After all, this creation of Bruce, maybe he just jogged down a simple storyline and the daughter took it to the producer, fabulous, Asian American producer, and they produced it. I think the intention was incredible. The first season was fine, but then by the third season, maybe the rating is dropping. You want to increase the rating? No.
Yeah, they don't want to get canceled.
It's possible. It's possible, yeah.
You got to go for the story. Action can always good or bad, but got to be the story. Always go for the story. Don't go for the gimmick. And yet they go for the gimmick, adding a lot of sex scene in it. Again, that's a shame. Excuse me.
I agree.
Okay. I want to uphold the absolute 200% esteem of Bruce. Please respect him. It's his creation. Give the man some respect, please. Please.
Right.
That's all the disrespect. I don't care who produced those shows or who wrote it or whose idea is that. Secondly, on Kung Fu. Excuse me. If you know Kung Fu 70s, it was a classic. Again, just like Bruce Lee, Kung Fu was a classic to talk about Zen, to talk about humanity, to talk about an Asian Shaolin warrior, you know, comes to the Western America back in the 1800s, and he's trying to fight against the differences in race, and yet trying to save people, you know. And he also talked about his past lives when he was a little boy in the Shaolin Temple, right? Remember?
Yeah.
I was a huge fan of it. You know, David Carradine, he's not Asian, doesn't matter, but he did such a great job.
Yeah.
The Kung
It was a
Fu
hit.
fight,
It was a big hit. Yeah.
Yeah. But the storyline and the Zen, it always has something. Everything, there's always go back to, a flashback to the master, you know, blind master talking to the little boy. You should do this. You should not do this. You should do this. It's an education about human should uphold respect for certain things, what to do and what not to do. It's a great teaching for the young people, for the kids, or for the adults. And again, it's always about Zen. But if you look at that series today, again, okay, first season is okay, but one of a few details. They talk about Shaolin Temple, because the whole thing began in Shaolin Temple. This lady warrior coming out of a Shaolin Temple, and they said Shaolin Temple is in Yunnan. Excuse me. Do a little research, please.
Whoops.
Shaolin Warriors is in Henan. Yeah. That's another 3,000 miles away, and not Yunnan. So please do your research. Whoever is writing this show, it's a shame, really. Wow. Because when I write something, I make sure all the facts are correct. I do a lot because I'm not, you know, a genius. So a lot of things I don't know, I do my research. I ask. I even put it on paper.
Right.
You know, and then again, the Kung Fu. Kung Fu is Kung Fu. Mixed martial arts is martial arts. Taekwondo is Taekwondo. Karate is Karate. You need to know the difference.
100%.
I'm not the best of the best. I don't do jiu-jitsu and I don't do mixed martial arts and all of that, but I know the difference.
Right.
And I am a Kung Fu expert because I got my own team of you know, world champions on my team.
Right.
We have live shows. We did at least 100 live shows in Europe and a couple more in Asia. And Jackie Chan and Jet Li, they will show up to see my show, my team.
Yeah. Actually, I have a clip, if you don't mind me showing a clip of that. Yeah. Check out James's team here. This is awesome, performing and touring here.
I'm glad you showed that, because I've seen several of those, and they're amazing.
Yes. Again, there's no wiring. Everything is done live, and I did not speed up the speed. That's how fast they are and how much in unison. That's called a great live show right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to show something. I had to show a little snippet there. Yeah, but I agree, James. You know, Hollywood put some respect. That's right. Respect the material. Do your research. You know, James brought up some great points today. James knows he knows his kung fu. He knows what he's talking about. I mean, look at this. Bam. He knows his kung fu, baby. That's right. That's right. And speaking of Kung Fu, James, let's talk about your upcoming project, Shaolin Warriors.
Yes. It's an IP I created. Actually, it was created when I saw the Shang-Chi. It was just a bit before Shang-Chi came on. I already created this. I started writing this Shaolin Warrior character, and that is actually my comic book. And I start drumming up all these characters in it. I want to make it original, and I want to make it very Chinese original, you know, and it's according to all the historical facts with Shaolin Temple, basically. But I do not want to make another Shaolin that Jet Li did 35 years ago.
Right.
I want to make the Shaolin a group of Chinese and American warriors. They join up together because the world is at peril, because the world is being threatened by ISIS, or because the world is threatened by the zombies, you know, all these different threats that could happen today. And they would join up and using Kung Fu.
All right.
Fight against a modern war, rockets, Uzis, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Just imagine, it sounds like a Marvel, right? But mine is not Marvel. Mine are humans. They are humans that do not fly, but they can walk on the wall, and they can jump from ceilings to ceilings, but they're just humans. You can kill them if you fire a bullet at them. But then they are going to use Kung Fu against any bullets thrown at them, and they're going to save the world. That pretty much sums up everything.
Yeah,
you know,
they have really cool abilities. Yeah, yeah.
So what I call is using action against violence.
Well, I want to see these action sequences played out on screen, Joel, don't you?
Yeah.
Do some Kung Fu to disarm a missile, or, you know, dodge some stuff. I mean, I want to see that. That'll be a lot of fun.
All of that, you know.
Oh yeah, that'll be fun to see.
Again, all of these scenes, I had to design it in my head, and then I have to write it out in detail. Because again, I take it up from the best. Everything is in details.
Now, is the comic book first, or you're trying to work on a series or a movie? Which way you think you might be heading direction?
I had about 10 or 15 pages drawn up already, and then I had difficulties to finish it. You know, it's hard to find good sketches. Yeah. So I said, I'm just going to leave it because I want to finish my script. So I finished the script, 4-hour feature. And then I started last year to do, because after I returned to Hollywood, I said, wow, there's so many TV series and streamings. They like TV. So I began to write out the pilot. Right. So within 6 months, within 6 months, I have a 90-minute pilot plus 8 episodes, 1 hour, all written up, ready to go.
Yes. All right. Well, I'm excited. Are you excited, Joel?
Oh, yeah, man. I'd love to see something like that.
We need Shaolin Kung Fu on the comeback, son. That's right.
All the Shaolin Kung Fu is going to beat up all the nemesis, all the violence, and bring peace among all races.
All right.
All races can work together to live in the beautiful earth. Otherwise, the earth is going to disappear, and then we're all going to be gone. Excuse me. If this war keep going on, and then I think we need some kind of gun control in America. There are too many innocent people dying every day. I don't know if they report it in America, but definitely we see it on TV every day in China. People are dying because of somebody just bring out a gun and just shoot everybody dead in schools and everything. My God. It always brings tears. I'm telling you. I look such a tough guy, but when I see these scenes, I said, how can innocent people die like that?
Right. Yeah.
Parents seeing their kids going to school and they're going to die under somebody else's bullets. And what happened to the government? What happened to the good old America that I grew up in? Excuse me.
Yeah.
Isn't that nobody can do anything about this to stop this violence because you give so much freedom to the people? Excuse me.
Yeah.
Really hardens my heart. My heart goes out for all these innocent people. That's why I want to make a Shaolin Warrior. I want to show the world.
Yeah.
Kung Fu. Beat out all violence. And save the world.
Love and peace. Unity. Love and peace. These are the themes that need to be explored and put out there.
straight out there, not about violence and
right.
violence and violence,
Right.
not about sex, sex, sex. You can have sex at home, but please don't. Maybe for the adult audience, I recall one of my favorite movie by the wonderful actor I told you about is Last Tango in Paris, which came out 30 years ago. I don't know if you saw it. Very sexual. And yet it's an art movie. I truly enjoy it. But you can't do that on TV every day, you know. That kind of thing. Especially Kung Fu. Same thing. They put in boys and girls humping each other on Kung Fu. Excuse me.
Right.
Have some respect for Kung Fu.
James is boycotting Warrior Season 4. He's boycotting.
Oh, my sounds like Shao, that your project would bring a lot of beautiful themes into the entertainment industry that we're missing today. And if art imitates life, life imitates art. Hopefully, the audience that's watching it in the future, because it will happen, they will take something from that, and we'll regain a little bit of the humanity that we've lost.
Yes,
indeed.
Very well said, Joel.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Well, that was a perfect way to end it, Joel. Words of wisdom from Joel and James Pax. That's right. And Samurai Guy, I'm just a knucklehead. But I'm having a blast. But we got to wrap it up for today. I know James and Joel's extremely busy. But before we wrap it up, James, let all your fans know where you're going to be at. What's coming up soon?
Right. So that, you know, I've been trying so hard to reach out, and finally we reach out to a couple of Comic-Cons. Actually, first one is going to be Contropolis in Boston, Massachusetts, 16th to the 18th at the Best Western Trade Center, Marlboro. You can find it on the internet, of course. And then the second one is going to be June 31st and July 1st at the Burbank. It's called Hollywood Show. And I'm ranked on the top with all the Hollywood celebrities, you know.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's going to be July 8th and 9th in New Jersey. Okay, in New Jersey. I won't repeat with the location, but I'm sure you can find it on the internet. But the good thing is, I'm actually an East Coast person. I grew up in New York. I went to high school in New Jersey, but I grew up on Manhattan, 80th, and York Avenue. So I'm very much a Big Apple guy.
All right. So there you go, guys. Put it on your calendars. Mark it. That's right. Contropolis. Some awesome appearances there. Go ahead and meet your boy, James Pax. That's right. Bring your Funko Pops. Bring your DVDs, your Blu-rays. Go ahead and get it autographed. James, if I was in the area, you know I'd be bringing stuff for you to sign. But having you here on the show and talking movies with you was a blast. I will take it. It was an honor to have you here.
It was.
Friend. That's right. And always an honor to have Joel from Media Glitch here as well. So, hey, thank all you badasses for watching and hanging out with us. That's right. Share this video. Get the word out. We got to get Shaolin Warrior out there. That's right. We can't wait for that upcoming project. That's right. Action Kung Fu, bringing it back to spread the wonderful themes of love and peace, getting it out there. That's right. That's right. Very important. Really quickly. I missed some comments here. Let's see. We have another fan of the David Carradine Kung Fu Show, James.
Oh, thank you. Somebody agreed with us.
Yes, that's right. And one more. Totally love the movie Big Trouble in Little China. One of my absolute favorites. One of its kind. Can never be duplicated, remaked, or prequeled, or rebooted. Hollywood, stop it. Hollywood,
stop it.
Put some respect.
20th Century Fox. Once my name is up there, I will say, let me have the chance. I will be the showrunner and do a sequel on Big Trouble in Little China as a TV series. Again, I guarantee you it's going to be top 5.
There you go. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Only James can do it. So put some respect on Kung Fu's name and put and respect Big Trouble in Little China.
Exactly. All the characters and their sons and daughters that's going to come. You know?
That's right. That's right. Well, this was an honor and a blast. Don't go anywhere, James, Joel. Hey, everybody, look in the description box below. Follow James on Instagram, Facebook, join his fan club, so that way you will be in the know for all these upcoming events, when Shaolin Warrior is going to drop, the con appearances, all that stuff. All that is in the description box below. And hey, if you're new here, I hope you enjoyed yourself. Go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the old Samurai Guy. That's right. And subscribe to Joel. That's right. Media Glitch, baby. On YouTube. Follow him on the Twitchums. And hey, if you guys are free tomorrow, we're going to keep it going here. Join me and Sifu Peter Pham. That's right. We're going to be talking about his newest film, Foggy Mountain. That's right. That's tomorrow. That's right. Join me and Peter around 5 p.m. Pacific time. That's right. We're going to do it again because we love talking martial arts, kung fu, and movies. That's what this channel is all about, baby. All right. We'll see you on the next one. James, Joel, don't go anywhere. Take care, guys. Lightning.
Bye, guys.